Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be talking about the step up spawn and the new monster that just came out, the Moral Lust Luxuria. Alrighty, so going over her, if you take off the activation priority, she doesn't really do much. With her ability, she doesn't attack to begin with, and she casts a spare, curse, and bleed, but the only status alignment that's really going to be useful is the spare. Like, Miasma's like 10 times better, not 10 times, but twice as better than bleed. And even so, when you're using Miasma, it's not all the, it's a useful status alignment, but it's not as useful as some of the other status alignments that monsters have, at least now, currently in the game. And then Curse, not as useful either, can be useful, because Curse, when you're using Curse, it stops the enemy team from healing, or whoever you cast Curse on. But with the success values these have, they only have a success value of 50. All of them have only a success value of 50. And when I use that, I use Blunt Stun. I used Blunt Stun back when I said I was going to do the Dark Dragon event. I did start it off. We didn't really get to finish it, so I'm sorry about that. I didn't get to record that, but we started off and we were trying Blunt Stun, and it has a success value of 60 on stun. The first time it worked out well because we only needed 2 tries before we stunned the monster, and then the second time we were wondering if you could even stun it the second time because it was just not activating at all, like 0. We did not stun the monster at all. It took a long time before we even got to stun the monster, so having 10% less of success value it's probably not going to happen, to be fairly honest. That's why I'm saying her ability for casting status alignments is not really a good one. It's decent, it could help, but for the most part, there's so many better monsters out there that there's so many other monsters that could cast a spare at a higher rate, and all these other abilities, it's just not worth it for her. And then she does have increased use and gouge gains of all allies by 3, applies 10% life drain on all allies. She does cast Resurrection on yourself, and she does increase Dark Unison ability power as well on top of that. So she is one of those monsters. She's not really too useful. The main use in her would be the Unigouge gain with the activation priority combo. She's more of a monster you want to use before people start using their Unisons. Madia is a monster you want to use first during a Unison battle or before they use their Unisons. This one's only like before they use their Unisons, unlike Madia. So Madia is actually can be more useful. I'm not gonna say is, because unlike Madia, this one has the use and gouge gain. But for the most part, in the general and perspective, Madia would be more useful because this is a monster you only want to activate before they activate their Unisons. This is a monster you want to activate ASAP. Once you get to a Unison battle, this is a monster you definitely don't want to activate because it's not going to be helpful at all. It's going to do absolutely nothing to really help you unless they use monsters that don't do much damage. And when you hit like that superior rank, you're going to be fighting 500k, 600k, possibly even 700k. They're going to have monsters that could probably one-shot you themselves, so it's not useful for Colosseums as much. I mean, this is where it's going to shine the most, Colosseums, but once they already activate their Unisons, this monster is now not useful in Colosseum for the whole battle. This monster can be used, and it can be useful before they activate their Unisons, but by the time it hits like late rank, late round 2 or round 3, and most of the people activate, not all of them, but most of them activate their Unisons, it's not going to be as a useful monster. Okay, so anyways, going through the step up spawn, they went back to the really strong buffed up step up spawn. They have 32 cost at their lowest, and they only have Bastet and Gremory at their lowest, and the only one, Bastet's okay monster, Gremory's really good still, even as a 32 cost, so you can't really, I'm not going to say you can't really lose with the spawn because Bastet I think might have the highest rates, but as far as I could see, Bastet's the only really, to me at least, Bastet's the only downfall of this spawn. Bastet's the only one I wouldn't want from the step up spawn. Every other monster from the step up spawn I would want, because either way I would be getting more gear score by getting other monsters from the step up spawn besides Gremory. Gremory's more of a useful monster than a monster that's going to give me more gear score. Anyways, going over that, they don't have the commanders in here at all either. Commanders also would have had the highest rates, so they would have snatched them as well. This is good, so that way you have more rates of getting like Lancelot, Tourbillon, Spica, Holmes, Aquarius, and Kairat. All these 34 costs and 33 costs. They have exceptional rates. They're not mythical. You could actually pull these possibly on your first, second, or third try. Second try, I pulled Romeo. Surprising, since I was only getting Elizabeth when I first started this, like constant Elizabeth. I pulled Romeo on my second try. I have a guildmate named Jose. He's done this spawn multiple times, and thanks to him doing the spawn, he's 680k. Well, he said he's already at 600k thanks to this spawn. This spawn is also the second best method, at least right now, for getting awakening material for your monsters. So if you're looking for awakening material for your monsters, whether you're going for 32, 33, or 34 costs, this is the best method. That is why my guildmate, Mage, now he's not Jose anymore, he's Mage. He got to 680k easily thanks to the spawn, and possibly the monster spawn. The monster spawn is the best way, but this spawn is the second best way of getting that awakening material, so that way you can awaken your monsters, because when you awaken your monsters, you're going to get a lot of gear score from them. So even if you do have the monsters, if you don't have them fully awakened, whether they're at the 33 or 34 cost, best to do the spawn, because you could get the awakening material and get more gear score off of them. With that being said, oh yeah, before I actually end this, they have cost 25 or higher SSR rates up. I wish they would change this to, well, they can't change this to cost 28. I was gonna say, because they can't change this to cost 28. I don't think they have, which they should add to the pool. They should add to the pool armors and weapons that are cost 28, because again, they kind of screwed up when they did this. They kind of did. You got whales selling their accounts, and it's not scalable for the free-to-plays. I mean, this step-up spawn is good. The step-up spawn is one of the best free-to-play spawns out there, but they need to start scaling, so that way free-to-plays can always be a couple steps behind pay-to-wins. They don't have to be like, it doesn't have to be like a huge gap between like free-to-plays and pay-to-wins, because honestly, both whales and free-to-plays are quitting this game because a team is just not fair with their spawns like they used to be, I think. Well, I'm not gonna say they used to be, but like as much as they could be. I'm not gonna say used to be, but could be with their spawns. With that being said, this spawn is highly recommended. If you don't have your stuff awakened fully, or if you don't have the monsters, definitely look at the spawn and try the spawn out. The only way you can lose in the spawn is getting Bastet, because Gremory's a good monster. Then you got 33 and 34 costs that could give you a lot of gear score either way. So I hope this helped out, and I will see you in the next video. This is the AzureWrath, and I'm out. Peace.